Hello, beautiful lights. Welcome back to another episode, another segment. I am Landon. I am an intuition mentor and energy alchemist. I am here as an activator, a facilitator, a space holder, a guide, an advisor for you to remember and align with your cellular remembrance. Still figuring out that wording. But anyways, I'm basically here to remind you that you can live the life that you want, and it all comes down to perspective shifts, releasing the old traumas, the old programmings, and that's really why I'm here, to really help facilitate that and hold space for that transformation. So, in today's episode, we are talking about reaction versus responding. And this has been something that I've actually been noticing in my own life over the last several years. Probably going on 3 years now? Something like that. Anyways, it feels like it's been forever, as I've been learning through lifetimes, as you have been too. But this topic specifically, reacting versus responding, I think I started noticing it back in 2017. Not consciously, but when I pinpoint going back, I can be like, oh, wow, yeah, definitely going back as far, or close, I guess, as 2017. But so reaction. Reaction versus responding. This is another 3D versus 5D concept, inclusive, of course, of all of the dimensions, but those are really the ones that we are heavily experiencing right now, is the third dimension to fifth dimension. The third dimension would be reaction. This is the space when, say for instance, you disagree with someone or somebody disagrees with you, and you start getting that fiery feeling within you, maybe some rage, maybe some anger, perhaps some sadness or crying, or speechlessness, you don't know what to say, you're just so over it. Reaction. That's reaction. Or it could literally be something as simple as rolling your eyes, a sarcastic comment, just these habitual patterns that we have built and been programmed and ingrained within us to, when somebody says something uncomfortable, you make a sarcastic comment, you giggle, you laugh, you do something as a reaction. We are now moving into a space of conscious awareness. Okay, that sounds redundant, but it is two completely separate things: conscious and awareness. You are being consciously aware of how you are acting. Okay, acting, not reacting, but acting. That is an action that you decide to take, and that is where responding comes in. By deciding to take an action, you are responding to a situation within life. Okay, so reacting is quite the opposite of somebody does something and you react to it. It is acting out of obligation. It is acting out of habitual patterning. Okay? And I say K because I'm making sure that I understand what I'm saying as I'm saying it to you. So thanks for hanging in there with me. I love you all. So, responding is, well, we touched on it. It is the action that you consciously make to respond to a situation. So when somebody says something uncomfortable, or you don't agree with something somebody says, or you get triggered. Let's talk about that. You get triggered. Somebody says something and it brings up a really painful memory, and you are getting really angry, or you're getting really sad, and they're basically just keep going, and you're in your brain, you're just like, please, dear God, stop talking. And then you have two options. You can react or you can respond. Okay? And respond can mean you say something, you do something, or you walk away. Okay? That is a response. Or it can also be a reaction, but the intention behind it is what's important. So when you get triggered, what we are moving into is taking in the information of, okay, I'm being triggered right now. Perhaps you can analyze it in that moment. Perhaps you don't want to do that, and you want to just respond to the situation until you can maneuver through those emotions later. But when this triggering happens, in the past, and for a lot of people in the present still, we react. We react. Somebody says something not so nice, and we fire back with a sarcastic comment. We fire back with an insult. We roll our eyes. We slam a door. That is reaction, okay? Versus somebody says something triggering. We tell ourselves, I'm being triggered right now. How can I best respond in this situation? And then you maneuver through that energy to respond with love, with gratitude, with a higher level of consciousness. This is not bypassing your emotions, okay? A lot of people within the spiritual community will just say, go after it with love, with light, and everything will be okay. That's bullshit, okay? No, we all have emotions. We all have an emotional range greater than a teaspoon, okay? And we are meant to feel these emotions. But the emotions that we are meant to be responding from, that we are meant to be acting from, are our innate ability to act from love, this origin point of all creation. Love, gratitude, acknowledgement, and acceptance. And when we act from that, it is aiding in the progression of not only you, but also the other party, the other person, and all in your surroundings. For those of us who like to have these reactionary responding experiences in public. And so when we respond, we are aiding in the collective progression. And that can feel small in the moment. It can feel like, well, it doesn't really matter how I react or respond because I'm just one person and like, how can I make a difference? Okay? This gets into a bigger picture of you are a part of a collective, a human collective, which is a part of a Gaian collective, which is a part of a universal collective. Okay? You are one human, but one human can change the entire energy of a room, can change the entire experience of an entire country, can shift the outcome of peace versus war. You are not powerless. You are, in fact, more powerful than anyone has ever told you before. You are more powerful than I can even articulate right now. You are powerful in this moment and in every moment before this moment and after this moment. You are powerful. So, back to responding. This is why it is so vital that we choose to respond these days. You are being called to become aware of your life. You are being called to become aware of your life. So many of us have become habitual, have become acceptant, have become, what's the word? Unapologetically, submissive. We have become slaves to obligation. Yeah, that's powerful. Can you just feel that depth? We have become slaves of obligation. Oh, I have to go to my job, or I have to go to this party. I have to respond to this person because I read their message. I have to say something immediately. I have to make this decision by this date. I have to do this. I have to. I talked about this on one of the previous episodes of this have to, living out of that obligation state, versus choosing to respond, and that could take days, that could take minutes, that could take seconds, that could take a few hours. It can take time, okay, to choose how to best respond. As I have begun to implement responding in my own life, I don't respond to people's texts, to people's messages as quickly as I used to. Given I try to do my best, as I know a lot of people are still living in that realm, but I am not. And so I get to choose when I respond. Okay? You get to choose when you are responding. So really just allowing yourself time, and that could be just the simple articulation of, I need time to really decide how I'm going to most effectively respond to this situation. So perhaps it's a heated discussion, quote unquote argument, that is going on, and you can just take a step back and say, I am going to take some time. I'm going to allow myself time. That is another little vocabulary shift that is coming in. Take and give. I'm going to give myself time. I'm going to allow myself time to really settle into this energy, to allow the highest and most efficient response for the both of us. Okay? And it doesn't have to be as lengthy as what I just said, but just, I'm gonna allow some time for this to settle so that we can both effectively respond to the situation. And that could be a sentence that you say to yourself, okay? With so many overthinkers out there, yep, I'm one of them with you. Just allowing yourself time to just take a step back from whatever situation's going on. Maybe it's a work project, maybe it is a relationship, maybe it is your own mind. Just saying, I'm gonna leave you here. I'm gonna give you some space, and we'll come back and reconvene later. Super powerful, okay? Reaction versus responding, okay? I hope you guys got as much out of this conversation as I have. I know I learned so much when I just talk. And so lots of love to you. Thank you all for listening in. Again, if you have not followed me on Instagram at EnerGenetic.Alkemy with a K, definitely follow me there. And check out my website, EnerGenetic.Alkemy.Teachable.com. There are some events and meditations. What else is on there right now? And my masterclass, I did make a workbook of my intuition masterclass, how to get more in touch with you. Who are you? Why are you here? What is your purpose? My masterclass is on there as well for all of you. But lots of love to you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure to catch my next segment. But yeah, I love you all.